do a quick revision of sketching quadratics and solving them. Okay, so back in Unit 3 we learned how to do this, so you know what we need. In order to sketch a quadratic graph, all we need to do is find the roots, we need to find the y-intercept, we need to find the turning point and its coordinates, and its nature. This question also asks us for the axis of symmetry. Okay, so let's get the roots. We find the roots whenever y is equal to 0. So let's do that. So I can say it cuts the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So that'll be x squared minus 2x minus 24 is equal to 0. So factorise and solve that. So 1 times minus 24 is minus 24. So let's see, the combination that would work out would probably be minus 6 and 4. Okay, so that will be x squared minus 6x plus 4x minus 24 equals 0. So that will give me x bracket x minus 6 plus 4 bracket x minus 6 is equal to 0. So that will give us x plus 4, x minus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to 6. So it cuts the x-axis at negative 4, 0 and 6, 0. We can say that it cuts the y-axis when x is equal to 0. So that would be y is equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 24. So y has to be minus 24. So it cuts the y-axis at 0 minus 24. So we've got that. Now let me start to sketch it. So apologies in advance for my dodgy diagram. You know what I'm like drawing diagrams. Okay, so we have a point here at minus 4, 0. We have a point here at 6, 0. And then we're going to be looking to cross the y-axis at 0 minus 24. Obviously this is not going to be drawn to scale. Okay, so we've got the bare bones. Now we want to find the turning point. So remember, the turning point always happens halfway between the two x values. So the number that's halfway between minus 4 and 6, well, that would be 1. So I can say turning point when x is equal to 1. So sub in x is 1 into my original equation. So it's x squared minus 2x minus 24. So that would be y is equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 24. So it's 1 minus 2 minus 24, which has to be minus 25. So the turning point is going to happen at the point 1 minus 25. Okay, so let's just put that in there. Very, very not drawn to scale, but you get the idea. And then let's just sketch it. So it comes down here, turns, and then goes back up. Last thing to do is identify the equation of the axis of symmetry. That's just the vertical line that goes down through the turning point. So that's x is equal to 1. So this here is a graph of y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 24. Okay. The next one we have f of x is equal to 8 minus x squared plus 2x. So let's just do the same thing. Let's find where it cuts the x-axis. So it cuts the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So that will give me 8 minus x squared plus 2x is equal to 0. Now remember what I said about solving a quadratic when we have a negative x squared. So if I make it negative x squared plus 2x plus 8 equals 0, if I multiply it all by negative 1, it means that I don't need to deal with the negative x squared. So that would just be x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Factorise that. So factors of minus 8, and I think you'll find that it's going to be 4 and minus 2. Nope, that'll be minus 4 and 2. Silly me. So minus 4 and 2 works out. So that would be x squared minus 4x plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Many common factorise, many common factorise. So that'll be x bracket x minus 4 plus 2 bracket x minus 4 is equal to 0. So we get x plus 2, x minus 4 equals 0. So x has to be negative 2 and x has to be 4. Okay. So we'll go ahead and solve that. We'll go ahead and find the y-intercept now. So I can say that it cuts the y-axis when x is equal to 0. So let's put that in. So we get y is equal to 8 minus 0 squared plus 2 times 0. So y is going to be 8. So it cuts the y-axis at 0, 8. And I really should put in here that it's cutting the x-axis at minus 2, 0 and 4, 0. Okay, let's start to sketch it now that I know I have my roots and my y-intercept. Now, this is a negative x squared, so be prepared for this to be an upside down parabola. Okay, so it's cutting the x-axis at minus 2 and 4. It's cutting the y-axis at 0, 8. So let's find the turning point now. So the number that's halfway between minus 2 and 4 would be 1. So I can say turning point when x is equal to 1. So let's fill that in then. So that would be y is equal to 8 minus 1 squared plus 2 times 1. So that'll be 8 minus 1 plus 2 is going to give me 9. So the turning point happens at 1, 9, which would be about here. And then that gives us this. And that is a graph of y is equal to 8 minus x squared plus 2x. And that's us solving quadratic equations in order to sketch the graphs. Okay. Let's look at example 7 then. Example 7 says, find the coordinates of the points marked with letters in the diagram below. So I want to find the coordinates of A, B, C, and D. Okay? So in order to find this out, A and B are on the x-axis. You know that lines cross the x-axis when the y is 0. Let's do that. So I can say curve or lines, doesn't matter. Curve cuts the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So that would give me x squared minus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Factorise it. So factors of minus 5. So it's going to be 1 and negative 5. Or minus 1 and 5. So the one that works out is also going to be 1 and negative 5. So we have x squared plus x minus 5x minus 5 is equal to 0. Many common factorise, many common factorise. So it'll be x bracket x plus 1 minus 5 bracket x plus 1 equals 0. So we get x minus 5, x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 5 and x is equal to negative 1. So that means that A is going to be the point negative 1, 0, and B is going to be the point 5, 0. The point C is where it cuts the y-axis. So I can say curve cuts the y-axis when x is equal to 0. So we get y is equal to 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 5. So y has to be minus 5. So C is going to be the point 0 minus 5. Finally, D is the turning point. And remember, the turning point always happens halfway between the two roots. So halfway between minus 1 and 5 is going to be 2. So I can say turning point when x is equal to 2. So put that into the original equation. So we get y is equal to 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. So that's going to be 4 minus 8 minus 5. So y has to be minus 9. So therefore, D is the point 2 minus 9. So put all your solutions together. So therefore, A is the point minus 1, 0. B is the point 5, 0. C is the point 0 minus 5. And D is the point 2 minus 9. Okay.